All right, I'm going to show you how to add an employee or a user or a staff member, whatever you want to call it, into Landscape AI. So you'll want to click on Settings down here, click on Staff. Right now there's no users. Hit Add Employee. If you want to upload a personal logo for them, so that's probably going to be like a headshot, you can do that here. Put in their contact information, give them a password. You can set them up an email signature, and you can enable that on all outgoing messages, and you can select it to put that in the in replies, so it'll show up under each reply that they send out as an email. Or if you leave it unchecked, it'll just show up on the first email they send, and then it won't include the signature on any replies they send. So you can add that here. You can also add source code. So if you use like a email kind of generator, like a signature generator thing, a lot of times it'll give you just code for that. So you can click source code and you can post that in here and hit OK, and then it should generate the image for you, like what it'll actually look like with the code here. Or if you want to keep it simple, you can just use the text editing abilities here. You can add pictures and links to other, to websites or whatever, or to your calendar, whatnot. So you can put all that in here. User permissions. So you can turn on and off everything, all the different features in the system. If you may have somebody maybe that you add to the system who only does your social media, so you may turn off everything to them except for the social planner. Or you may have somebody who's in the system who only does maybe the sales process. So they're going to want to see things like dashboards and appointments, funnels, conversations, contacts, opportunities, those kinds of things. But they don't need to see an affiliate manager or social media planner or the invoicing and payments and some of these other things. So you can select whatever you want, so it's fully customizable here. You can set roles. So there's only two roles, admin and user. So a user, again, you can restrict them up here. Basically an admin, they're just going to have the ability to see things like the payment that's set up in the system to make your payments for your monthly charges and your usage fees and things like that. So typically there's only going to be one or maybe two admins. It may be the owner, and then maybe the office manager who's in charge of keeping up with the finances of the business or something like that. Call and voicemail. So like I said, you can set up individual voicemails for each user. Again, if you're going to use the IVR and you're going to include the users in the IVR, just leave this part blank. But if you're not, then you can select your incoming call timeout, so how long it'll ring before it goes to voicemail, and then you can upload that user's voicemail recording for their line. So this one would be something more specific, like thank you for calling Lawns by Liam. This is Liam. I couldn't get to the phone. Please leave a message. So it's going to be specific to this person. User availability. So this is for their calendar settings. So if you're going to meet the lead or customer at their property, then you're just going to leave it as custom. If you're going to do virtual meetings for some reason, if that's typically how you meet with them, then you can select Zoom or Meet, Google Meet here. It's not going to let me select Google Meet yet because we haven't set up our Google Calendar. So I'll show you how to do that in a different video. But once that's done, you can select Google Meet. And then what it'll do is if you select Zoom or Meet, it'll generate the web link for the Zoom meeting or the Google Meet meeting and automatically load it into that calendar invite for that person. So you don't have to manually send them the Zoom or Google Meet link each time. You can also enter a phone number. So if it's just going to be a phone chat with them, you can do phone number or phone, and then it'll automatically populate in the location phone, which is the business phone number. But if it's a custom phone number specific to this user, you can put in their phone number. You can also do a physical address. So if they're going to come meet you at your business address, you can do that here, or you can change it to where if you want to, if there's somewhere that you always meet people to do consultations, then you can put in that address. Maybe it's a coffee shop that you like to meet people at or whatever. Time zone, if you leave it blank, it'll go to the default in the business profile settings, but you can select your time zone here. I would leave it blank unless you have users in multiple time zones for some reason. Maybe you're right on the edge of a time zone change. Available hours. So this is the days that they're available for to schedule meetings. And so you can select the days that you want to or don't want to be able to do meetings with them. And then you can select the times here that they're available. You can hit the plus hours, and then you can do splits. So they may be available from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then they always take their lunch from 12 to 1. So you don't want them to be available for a meeting between 12 and 1. So now it's set up from 9 to 12 and then 1 to 5. And you can hit apply all, and it'll just copy it down to all the days. User calendar configuration. Again, there's no calendar set up here yet. But once this is done, you can come in here and you can kind of customize some of the settings here. But it only works on team calendars, which is a type of calendar we have. We have multiple types of calendars depending on the situation that you're using the calendar for. So once you're done here, just hit save. It's not gonna actually go through because I didn't fill anything out. But once they're done here, you just hit save. It'll pop up and they'll be listed here. And of course, you can go in, you can edit them and change things around later. You can also sort here by role, and or you can search by name, email, or phone number. So if you end up with lots of users in here, it's hard to keep up with. You can do that. You can also build teams. So a group of user, which we've moved this over to calendars, but you can click that little link. It'll take you over to the calendar. But, just if you've got like a sales team, where those people are always together on the same team, you can set them up, and that just makes managing it a little easier down the road. So that's how you add a user.